Hey everyone, and welcome to the channel. Here I want to talk about old computers and have some fun doing so. And today I want to talk about this funny beige pizza box looking thing. It's a Mac actually, and it may or may not be exciting. I'll let you be the judge of that. But this does have a special place to me. It was the first computer my family ever got in the 1990s. And so I thought it'd be fun just to take a look at it today. So what we have here is a PowerMac Performa 6116CD. This was meant to be a consumer-friendly device. It was marketed towards first-time computer buyers. It came with a modem and a software package of different things. However, you would have to buy the monitor separately. So taking a look at the front of the computer, of course, I've got the Apple logo and the model number, indicator light, CD drive, floppy drive, and a power button. Pretty basic stuff for a 1990s computer. But let's take a look around the back. Coming around the back, things start to get a little more interesting. So on the left here we have power and the power supply and input output, so you could plug your monitor in here. Then here we have an interesting little thing. This is an Ethernet connector. Specifically the AAUI connector, or Apple Attachment Unit Interface. Oh, Apple. Always using your own proprietary connectors for things that already exist. Anyways, you actually can connect an adapter to this to connect it to Ethernet and get it on a modern network, so that might be something we take a look at in the future. And next to the network port, we have a SCSI port, which is useful for plugging in external devices like hard drives, and is also really useful nowadays if you need to connect an external SCSI to SD. And speaking of proprietary connectors, here's an interesting one. This is the HDI 45 video adapter. And I believe this only ever showed up on the first generation of PowerMacs, the 6100, 7100, and 8100. And it uses this nice chunky guy to connect to your monitor. Don't mind this one, it's had its fair share of use. Now the HDI 45 does carry video and sound, so it was meant to be kind of a more user-friendly way of connecting your monitor and your sound to your computer, and in a way is kind of a herald of the future connectors that we have now, like HDMI and Thunderbolt. So kind of interesting, but at the time it didn't go anywhere. And fortunately, there are adapters to it to connect to a normal VGA monitor. That is what I'll be doing. After that, we have your printer port, your modem port for the modem that came with the computer when you bought it, your ADB port for connecting your mice, keyboard, joysticks, and stuff. And after that, you got your audio output and input, reset button, developer button, and this interesting little rectangle here, which is where we can put an expansion card, which gives us some video options. Alright, so after that, let's go take a look inside and see what this machine is made of. So here we are looking at the wonderful insides of the machine. As you can see, we have a 250 megabyte SCSI hard drive, which is interesting because I've only seen online that these came with a 350 or a 700, so not quite sure why it has a 250 megabyte drive. CD drive, floppy disk drive, pretty standard. And then over here, we have the PDS slot for doing a processor upgrade, which we will be doing in the future. And then we have a slot for a cache chip, which is pretty interesting because you could add an L2 cache upgrade just like RAM. Then we have the ROM card here. And next to it is the PowerPC processor. This is the 601, the first generation of the PowerPC. And then under these cables here we have the RAM expansion slots. Now this computer shipped with 8 megabytes of RAM installed. I believe it's right over here. And you could upgrade it to 72 megabytes officially, and unofficially I believe we can go a little higher than that. So yeah, that's the insides of the machine, and I think we should have some fun with the machine now. So, the Performa 6116CD was introduced on July 17th, 1995 for a cost of 1900 US dollars. So I thought, hey, let's play with it and see what kind of performance you got for your $1900. So, let's turn it on. There's a happy Mac. So, see how startup goes here. Not terrible for 8 megabytes of RAM and no level 2 cache. So let's take a look at our specs here. So we are running System 7.5 Update 2.0 with 8 megabytes of total RAM, and the system is using most of it. And if we come to the Apple System Profiler, we can see that we indeed are on a PowerPC 601 with 8 megabytes of RAM, and virtual memory is off. So a big selling point of this computer was the bundled software that came with it, and we can see some of that here where it gives us these interesting applications and some demos for the RAM doubler. And of course some tutorials and what to do if you need help. So let's take a look at some of these programs. So if you were like me at the time and this was your first real computer, you'd probably be pretty excited to play something on it. And so I thought, well, let us take a look at the games that came with it and see if there's anything decent. I'll be looking at this Club Kidsoft CD first, see if we can find anything interesting there. So here you are, you just got your first computer, and you're like, yay, I want to go play a game. So you put in your CD, you go look around, like, oh, Dino Park Tycoon, that sounds great, let's play that. So let's see how it goes. We are loading off the CD, so it's not going to be super quick loading anything. Oh, there we go. Nice. Alright, not bad. Definitely playable. Lots of loading. Okay. And this does have an internal speaker, as Macs usually do. Otherwise, you'd have your nice Apple monitor with the built-in speakers. Yeah, not bad so far. Alright, okay, that's enough of that. Okay, there we go. There's our little dinosaur guy hanging out over here in his wood fence. He's doing great. Alright, so say the game runs fairly well. So I think we've seen enough of this. So let's say you wanted to play something a little more popular. Say SimCity 2000, or at least it's a demo. And you might run into a problem like this, where there's not enough memory to run a game on your brand new computer. Oh no, what do you do? So what you're going to do is you're going to go and enable virtual memory, which is going to kill your performance, but it'll at least let you play the game. So as you can see, now I've got 17 megabytes of RAM. We should be able to play SimCity 2000 interactive demo now. And it's going to load a lot, and that poor hard drive is going to be screaming. And it's loading. Oh, we've got music. It's gonna load the demo city. Here we go. And we are kind of playing SimCity 2000. Slowly, but it does play. So, yeah, if you had just bought this computer and were expecting to have an amazing experience with its stock, you'd be possibly a bit disappointed. But, I mean, hey, you could still play. It's not impossible. So, at least that works. Let's take a look at something else. So you're super excited, you just got Dark Forces, you want to put that in and play it. Well, you better hold on, because stock, this computer is not going to play Dark Forces, even with virtual memory on. It's bad. As a stock gaming machine, if you were a kid in the 90s, you'd be a little bit disappointed. Performance would not be there. This thing really was meant for your basic learning to use computer, use ClarisWorks, type something up, play Spin Doctor. But any real demanding game at the time, it's not going to go so well. You're going to need a RAM upgrade, which we will do in the future. So that pretty much sums up the Performa 6116CD. It was just really a basic consumer device meant to get a computer into a household. The specs were pretty low for their time of release, so to really get any more use out of word other than word processing out of this computer, you're going to have to do some upgrades. And then it does become a bit more useful. So going forward, I want to upgrade this. There's plenty that can be put into it, and I kind of want to put different things in at different times and see how it affects the process. I do want to use Dark Forces as my benchmark because it doesn't run like at all right now. So if we can get that running with a few upgrades, we'll be good to go. And thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it. Hope you'll stick around and see what's coming next. I think it'll be a lot of fun. We'll see you in the next video. Take care, everyone.